Hey everybody, Quantum Sense here, and today I wanted to take you through a little patch I was working on this morning, which is building a lead synth sound focused around the Instruo TSL. So as I mentioned before in January, I'm going to be focusing, at least for the first part of the month, on Instruo, free Instruo modules that are in VCVRack. And I don't know, there are about 20 something of them. And they're really cool, right? So yesterday I posted a video with the Creating oscillator, and then today I wanted to build a lead sound using TSL. And it's a very cool oscillator with some wave shaping capabilities and pulse width modulation. And let me walk you through this patch that I created. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. All right, so here's the TSL. And I should say right now it's a dry signal, so and we will add reverb and delay later. So what I did was I took the TSL, which is here, and patched that into a mixer, and a 4-channel mixer. So I took 4 of the outputs, which is the square, the pulse width, the wavefolded output, and the sine output. And the reason I use the Bog Audio 4-channel mixer is because it has these great mute buttons. And so as you're auditioning the different sounds and adjusting them to your taste, it's really handy to have a quick and easy way to mute the individual channels. And not a lot of mixers have that. So anyway, that's why I chose Bog Audio. Okay, so I'm going from my Novation MK3 61 key MIDI controller into the voltage control. I'm following somewhat standard for now color combinations. So yellow is pitch information, green is modulation, red is audio. And I do have, sometimes it gets confusing when you have all red, all green. So I created 2 colors or 2 shades for each color. Okay, so we have light red, light green, dark green, etc. Okay, so each of the outputs is mapped into the mixer, and because the square wave tends to overpower the rest, I have the gain turned down. And you can also turn that into a sub-oscillator. So right now I have it as -1 octave. So let's listen to that. Okay, then we turn on the sine wave. Right, so it's very easy for the sub-oscillator to overpower, so that's why I turned it down so low. Okay, so now we have the this 3rd channel, which is the pulse width. And then we have the wavefolded output. And now I'm modulating all of these with the oct from Instruo. And then there's an expander, right? If you right click, you can add expander. So I added the expander, and I'm using these 3 outputs up here for modulation, and they're rectified, which is a fancy way to say that they're mostly unipolar. And so that's what I wanted, a unipolar signal to do the modulation. And another trick I do with the oct is I take one of the LFOs and I put that into the rate knob and then turn up the modulation. And so you kind of get, it helps to get like these irregular patterns. And here we can see two channels coming from the rectified into the scope. Let's see, not sure if you can all see that. Let me move that over. Right, so there's the scope. And so you can see that's creating this irregular pattern. And then I'm using that to modify various input parameters on the TSL. Okay, and for my Patreon subscribers, I'm making this patch available. Actually, it's a selection, right? So if you come here to import, I gotta move that back, sorry. If you move that to, right, import selection, you'll see something called lead 1, okay? And then you'll be able to import that directly into VCVRack. And everything will be connected. You'll just have to set your own keyboard controller if you're going to use that, or whatever your note source is. You just have to set that here and then patch that in. But the volt per octave is just going to the volt per octave on the TSL, and then the gates are coming to the envelope generator. Okay, and let's see what else. So I'm using just the standard ADSR and VCA. I really like how these work, and so I use these instead of the Instruo. They have all these, I think knock, which is a function generator, but I prefer just using a regular ADSR. And then going into the surge filter, which is, it's a great filter. I really love this filter. And you have all these variations within all these filters, right? So you have lots of different low pass filters. I'm using the cutoff warp filter, and then I set it to a 2-stage soft clip, which is great because if you're turning up the frequency and the resonance, it's really easy to get for the whole thing to get out of control. Okay, and then so the filter, and the other thing about this filter I love, it's a stereo filter. What else do we have here? Okay, so I'm modulating. So this is a cool trick. So I'm modulating both. Let's see, can you see that? Okay, I'm modulating this modulation 1 setting with both aftertouch and the mod wheel. Okay, and the reason I'm doing both is if you're like my keyboard, the aftertouch curve on the keyboard controllers tend to not be that great. And so so I know on this Novation MK3, you could set the aftertouch curves, but it's really kind of very minor modulation you could do with that. So you tend to quickly go off the charts with your modulation, as you can see here. So I have this really dialed down. And with hardly pressing it at all, we go right from 0 to the top. So as you can see, so if you click on the button, you can set the modulation amount, and it's really set tiny, because if I set it like that, right? So a little trick is you set that for a little amount. And if you want the destination that you're modulating to really take off, you could then open the mod wheel. So now I'm using the mod wheel, and you can see as I open the mod wheel, right, that's the max amount. And now when I press aftertouch, then you can get that extra boost. So that's like, the two values are summed, and that's why it happens like that. So that's just a little modulation trick. to make up for the inadequacies of many synth keyboards out there. Okay, so let's see. So that's the basic patch. I wanted to add a little, let's add some, let me zoom back out. Okay, so I have plateau and Nobula set up as my reverb and delay. So let's add some reverb. Okay, now I'm going to add some delay. All right, that's pretty cool, right? So now it's a lead sound, but we can easily turn this into a drone. So I'm going to just turn latch mode on my keyboard. I'm going to press, and we just go into, all right, just trying to adjust my volume here. Okay, and let's turn the frequency down a little bit. And now I'm going to make that sub-oscillator -2 octaves. All right, so that's the patch for today. I hope you enjoyed it. So remember, Patreon members, the patch will be in the posting. You can download it directly from there. Just plug it into VCVRack. And I hope you enjoyed. And this one little patch can be used as a lead sound and as a pad sound. And leave me a comment. Let me know how you're using it. I'd love to hear how you incorporate that into your own music. All right, so that's it. Signing out. Have a great day. Bye.